So what have we learned about the coronavirus since my first video? Well, Ben Shapiro came out today and confirmed that yes, it is bioengineered. This is not the first virus that has escaped, first coronavirus that has escaped from the lab that's 10 miles away from Wuhan province. That bioengineers, it keeps viruses. China makes our vaccines. Like I said in my first video about this, that we're too dependent on China, especially to make our vaccines, not just all this stuff, all this wonderful stuff we get from China. Totally dependent on them. But even the cure, the vaccine that we need, why is that being produced in a country that treats its own people horribly? And dogs, animals, horribly. I don't want to get into it. But being dependent on a communist regime like that, where President Xi is becoming more and more like the new Mao, not a good idea. We really need our vaccines that are going to cure us. We don't need them coming from a country that eats live snakes and bats and possums and where viruses escape from all the time. It doesn't see, and their waters are all polluted. See, there's runoff from the factories that they're making all these reusable bags, which can't be recycled, but we can no longer have the plastic bags, which you can recycle, and the lead paint on the bags. So their water is all polluted over there. Poisons. So it's not a good idea that we make our vaccines over there. And it was my feeling in the first video that it's quite possible that they were trying to figure out a vaccine for this. So when it lets go, there'll be a lot of money to be made there. And since Trump wants a better trade deal, they don't want to lose any money. He wants a deal that helps both of us. That's fair for both of us. And interesting how our economy has fallen because of this virus. They didn't let us know. It leaked out that this was happening, but they weren't telling the whole world so we could better prepare for it. So Democrats, they also claim that Trump, he was slow to start taking care of this issue. And they would have really pounced on it if they weren't so engrossed in his impeachment. See, Trump was trying to do something about this virus, but they were too, their time was occupied trying to get him impeached and out of office. So the things were not done in a timely manner. And they don't want to, he laid out a beautiful plan, a wonderful plan the other night. It sounds like it's going to he's trying to keep our economy strong, keep us prosperous, the jobs. Our economy had never been better. But see, they don't want to appropriate that money that's going to keep our economy strong because they want him out of office. Like Bill Maher said, what we need is a depression. See, because he's all rich. He's got a lot of money. But we need to suffer and know that we need to vote the Democrats back in office, so we can grow government more and have more people dependent on the system That's why you want an open border, because you want people poor, you want them dependent on the system. But they keep telling you that Trump is the one that didn't get a handle on this. Unfortunately, when we were listening to that broadcast, we could hear Trump breathing, our president breathing, and it sounds like he had some kind of respiratory infection. And that's what the coronavirus does. It's in the family of the common cold. It's a virus. It's not a flu, it's a virus. Lasts a fortnight, which is 2 weeks. The last time Trump was at Mar-a-Lago, a gentleman from South America came and dined with them, and he has the coronavirus. And it's interesting because the incubation time between then and now, and you can hear Trump breathing. He sounds like he's got asthma. I have asthma. That's an underlying condition. I'm not elderly, but it is the elderly that are dying with underlying health condition, especially if you are in a nursing facility like in Washington State, which has the highest number of deaths. It's in Washington State amongst the elderly population in this one facility. Most of those deaths, about 41 now, occurred there. In Massachusetts, declared a state of emergency, and the colleges are sending all the young people home. Which the young people in the colleges are the ones that either are asymptomatic or have mild cases. You send them home, you're more likely to interact with older people. So everything is getting kind of shut down, and transportation is stopping. The grocery stores are not getting stocked on a regular basis because if anybody has a sniffle, they don't go to work and everything shuts down. So they try to find other trucking companies that will bring in the goods, but it's not done every day. So that's the economy is getting destroyed. And interesting to see, the governor said it doubled overnight. But then I heard them say a day later, it wasn't confirmed cases. Most likely, they think they're not confirmed cases that doubled overnight. Possible cases. So he declared a state of emergency because it doubled, and these are possible 92 cases. So everybody's kind of really reaching the panic mode. And some people are asking, well, is it because they are preparing us for another pandemic coming, or getting us used to being quarantined? Can't say for certain, but it is a little scary, isn't it? But the things that are some bright notes in this, aside from the entire sports season, looks like there's going to be not even on TV without anybody in the stands. And I can't imagine what that's going to do to the morale of the country, where the good thing about sports is there's a camaraderie. People get together and they root for their team. And when they win, when the team wins, they win. And it brings people together. And when we lose that, the country is becoming fractured. Democrats, progressives break everyone up into communities. And with the fact that we can't get together and have that camaraderie, the country is going to become more and more fractured and less human. it's going to be a little lonelier. So we have to find other ways. Hopefully this virus is going to go bye-bye soon. But we have to find other ways to make sure we interact with each other, whether it be Skype or social media, or just befriending people. Like if you're a sub of mine and you see other people who comment on my videos, you notice that these people comment all the time or most of the time. Start just saying hello to them as if they are a friend, as if they are, because you have something in common, just like getting together and rooting for the same team. It's a way that we can kind of just be civil and nice to each other, and just leave a smile. Just say hello. How you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I pray that you're staying healthy and your family's staying healthy and strong. It's just something simple, but just so you feel you have a community out there. You don't feel disconnected. Should this get out of control, and it really shouldn't. Trump's idea of sealing the borders is perfect. The Democrats have a problem with sealing the border. You want those borders open, and you want an overtaxed healthcare system because you want to give healthcare to the entire world. Which reminds me, Italy. In a way, Italy, what's going on in Italy is a bright spot. Tell you what, it's because of why, just like I said in Washington State, why there's so many deaths in Washington State, and why there's so many deaths in Italy. 1016 up to this point. They have a socialized healthcare system. In fact, I read this right off of Vox, which is very left-wing, very progressive, pro-socialized healthcare. Well, they're saying that there aren't enough doctors, there aren't enough hospitals, there aren't enough healthcare professionals, there isn't enough medicine. And it's an aging population, so it's the perfect soup for this virus. Another part is that China is buying up a lot of land in Italy. They're buying up Italy. They're buying up a lot of land in Washington State, too. That's the state that has the highest amount of deaths in a elderly population that has underlying issues, health issues. Just like in California, too, they're buying a lot of land up in California. They're buying up wine country. So you look at the places in the world where they're buying up land, because they're going back and forth. They're traveling from China to the states, to the countries, a lot. So there's a higher chance for this virus to spread if just one person has it. And you're putting it into an elderly population, a population that has a culture of greeting people with a hug and kisses on both cheeks. You're right there. They say don't touch your face, your eyes, your nose, and your mouth, right? You get kissed on both cheeks, you get hugged, they look at you, they talk to you. It's a wonderful way to greet. It's wonderful. But if a virus like this is spreading, you've got the perfect storm brewing. But another bright spot, South Korea. In my first video I did on this, I said that South Korea would be the place to look at. What's happening there is a better model for us here than Italy, because Italy has conditions that are different. Maybe that, like I said, Washington State, California, certain places where they're buying up a lot of land in this country. But we also don't have, the majority of our population is not an aging population. There's a lot of young people. In South Korea, it seems like it's contained. So it's not, it looks like it's about to go down. And in China, it's going down. Problem with China is they kept it silent and it leaked out. They tried to contain it, or they tried to not let anyone know that this is happening. And this is the place where China, we're dependent on them to make our vaccines. And it's most likely from a lab that houses these viruses, like I said in my first video I did about this, and that it looks like there's a human hand in the creation of this virus. And lo and behold, Ben Shapiro has announced today that that's what it is. It's an engineered virus. So everything what I said was right in my first video. And I also stated that Europe, the EU, there are no more borders. People can go freely. That's how this virus can spread. So this virus has been going around Europe, and it's going to hit soon. It's all of a sudden, we're going to hear about a lot of cases. Hopefully not a lot of deaths. But if you have a border, then you can seal it. The EU has dissolved the borders, so you can contain it. You can contain it, stop people from coming in, or contain it within your country from it escaping to other countries. So Trump doesn't want air travel from Europe. And maybe he watched my video. It just makes sense. But the Democrats don't want that, and they don't want to appropriate the money. And they say that he took a long time to respond. Not true. There's a reason why. He was trying to respond. He was trying to do something. But the Congress and the Senate, mostly the Congress's fault, were trying to get him impeached. They were not taking care of business matters of state, trying to help our country, help our people, lower prescription drug prices. They were obsessed with trying to get him out of office. So this could not be taken care of as soon as it could have been. It's a disease. The virus is these psychotics that we have in office that are lying to our people, and our media, which is withholding the truth. That's the psychosis, so that's the virus, is the psychosis. He laid out a beautiful plan, a wonderful plan the other night to keep our economy up, to keep our economy going. The economy that he created, that's been the best economy that we've ever had, the best job numbers that this country has ever had. And there's nothing more than the Democrats want, is to destroy that. So they have their plan. And we know that Bill Maher said what this country needs, he said this a couple years ago, is a depression to get Trump out of office. He can handle the depression. He's got a lot of money. All the media, Hollywood, all pro-Democrat. Oh, they want to get him out of office. And they can handle the depression because they've got a lot of money. So they want us to suffer. Gee, it sounds like communism because it's a two-tiered system. People at the top and everybody equally impoverished at the bottom, weakened, so the sickly die off, and only the healthy and the young survive. So if you have a war, you can kind of take over other countries, take over the world. That's the brilliant plan of it. So they want us to suffer, and they also tell us that they're humanitarians. They're the ones who care. They would have gotten right on this. No, you are obsessed with trying to take Trump out of office. And now you want to sit on that money. You don't want that money released because you want to come up with your plan. So the American people will say, well, this is the Democrats' plan, because that's the only plan that they're going to approve. They're not going to approve a plan that Trump has devised. They do want him to look good. They want to destroy his economy. And this is how they get this brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They're psychotics, and they sound really stupid. But see, all you have to do is sit and throw a fit and do nothing. And then you say, this is our plan. And they'll look at us and say, it was us. We're the ones who let go all that money and helped you out with that coronavirus. We're the ones. It came from us. That was our plan. They can take credit for it because they're not going to approve Trump's. And this is just perfect to destroy the economy. Meanwhile, our country is going to get more and more depressed for many reasons, not just being quarantined. But remember, when you get sick, you are quarantined. You do quarantine yourself. And you stay away from those who are sick. It's what we do. But nevertheless, it's depressing. And I want to address some issues that I've heard. That the boat, the Diamond Princess, that is docked in Oakland. Well, some people are complaining that Trump, he's sending these people to be in Oakland, housed in Oakland, the military base there, and in Texas. And they're afraid that Trump is going to make all our servicemen sick and they should stay on the boat. Well, the military is prepped for this. They're prepped. They have projects all the time to combat if there is some kind of epidemic or pandemic. They know how to handle it, and they will contain it. This is something that they always have prepared. So there's nothing to worry about, and it's the best places for them to go. So if you hear someone worried about that, this is exactly what you should do. So don't worry about that. And some people are saying that, well, he's making them all prisoners for 2 weeks, even if they don't have the virus. Well, they've been contained on a ship, and they could be asymptomatic. They could be carrying it. And if you are a carrier, do you want to go into the public and get people sick with something that might kill them if they're elderly and have an underlying condition? It's 2 weeks, and it's kind of like if you got sick, you would be quarantined for about 2 weeks. It's a way to stop it, and it's the best way to stop it. So I wouldn't get mad at him for this. This is what the military is always prepared to do all the time. The broadcast the other night by President Trump, it sounded like he had some kind of respiratory symptoms going on. Like you can hear I'm a little rough sounding because I have asthma, and it's acting up now. But there's something that you need to know, and you really need to pray for our president. And this doesn't matter what the Democrats do, you must vote him back into office. He transformed this country while under constant investigation and lies and attacks. It kind of like when Michelangelo went to the quarry and found a piece of marble. He said, this is the piece. And he said, inside it, I'm going to bring out David. Inside of this rough, horrible-looking piece of marble. Italy is made out of marble, It's an ancient sea. And the marble raised to the surface, pink and white marble. He did a beautiful job transforming this country and the economy to make it the strongest it had ever been and the best jobs numbers than it has ever been. You must vote him back into office because the Democrats are going to try to take credit because it's going to be their money, their bill that they pass, not what Trump wants to do. He wants to protect us by keeping the borders closed until this virus passes. They want to keep that open. So this virus might just stay around. Hopefully it's going to burn itself out. Like it looks like it's happening in China. It looks like it's burning itself out. That might happen. Hopefully it does. And hopefully there isn't another wave. Or does it mutates and it may come back again in the fall. So we may be dependent, very dependent. Those of us who aren't dependent on the government will be dependent on the government. And that's exactly what they want. That's why they want a permanent serf class coming in. To be dependent on them so they can grow and expand government. Now, about a couple weeks ago, Trump was in Mar-a-Lago with Pence, and there's a gentleman from South America. It turns out he met with him. He has the coronavirus. And when I heard Trump speaking, and you heard him breathing, it sounded like he had something. This man has been constantly attacked. Been trying to take him down since the minute he came down the escalator. They created that fake dossier. They've been spying on him. The Mueller probe, and then the impeachment. And not just that, things like Shakespeare in the Park, when it's not Julius Caesar that they're stabbing to death, and Kathy Griffith and her holding up his bloody, and then the other rap videos of him dying. And then the Bernie supporter who tried to shoot up, who was trying to kill all the Republicans on the congressional softball team. And then interesting to note, as I did a couple of videos ago, that 51 of them retired. And they said it's only because Bloomberg paid $100 million to get Democrats elected, and then the incumbents retired because they were afraid after the Bernie supporter nearly killed Steve Scalise. He almost died, but he wanted to kill them all. They've been trying to destroy him and weaken him. The man sleeps 3 to 4 hours a night. It is the perfect storm as far as taking someone down. They've been trying to take his family down. And they want to take him and his family down even after he's out of office. They want to keep looking and finding something to send him to jail for, to take everything away just because he ran for president and was successful despite what they were doing to him. So it is possible that he has it, and it's even possible that Pence has it. So I ask you to pray for our president. Please vote for him anyway. Vote for him no matter if the Democrats pass their own bill that they say, you must be dependent on us. We're the ones who passed that bill. We're the ones who helped you out. Trump wasn't on ball. He took too long. It's us that you should be thankful to, and it's us you should vote back into office. Don't do it. Don't do it. These people are evil. If anyone is demonic, it's the Democrats. Pray for our country. Pray for your neighbor. Even pray for yourself. Keep in contact by Skype, by telephone, by social media. Get to know people on social media that share. If you belong to the same page on Facebook or the same blog, or you're subscribed to a certain content creator, anybody out there that you like to post your comments on. Say hello to the people that you're familiar with. Oh, you see this person posting all the time. Say hello to them. I'll say a prayer for you. I'll say a prayer for your family. With these quarantines, and it seems like it might happen. It might happen. They might close off like they did in New Rochelle. Completely close off a whole area, a 1 mile radius in New Rochelle around the synagogue. If these things should happen, and with the fact that we are no longer sports, when people can't get together, and the camaraderie that people have around their team and rooting for a team, even though you don't know this person, but you all get together, you all go down to the same bar to watch the televisions and cheer together and celebrate, or if they lose, you got the camaraderie, we're all together, and it helps. The loss is painful, but you've got your friend or your buddy that will share that sorrow with you, right? Without having sports, without having this, we might get very lonely and very disconnected. And I think it might be a good idea just to stay connected as much as possible. Like if you like a particular content creator, say hello to anyone that you recognize. Just say hello randomly. You don't know who they are, but you're just saying hello. I'll say a prayer for you, say a prayer for your family. Hopefully you'll be doing well and you'll stay well. And chin, keep your spirits up. Leave a smiley face or something. Because we're going to need to connect in some way. If you don't have sports and you have areas that are quarantined, the only thing you have is social media. And humans need to connect with one another. We need to know that we're alive and that we feel and that we're still real. And it's kind of social media, computers. It seems it's disconnecting us as humans, because this is even how we date. But this is now going to be the only way that we can connect. So just something simple like, hi, how you doing? Oh, I love that comment. Just do a little extra just to make people feel happy. Try to joke a little more. Think of funny things to say, happy things to say, or something that you heard that's just magnificent, or some good news. And just leave it. Say, hey, did you hear about this? Even if you're not commenting on the video, talk to each other. Did you hear about this? Oh, this was wonderful. Oh, this funny thing happened. This dog did this. Here's a link. Go see this funny dog. Try to create a community so we are connected as much as possible. Otherwise, depression will set in, more than just monetary depression, but depression will set in because we're humans and we need to interact with each other. This is very important, and it's very important that we, if you believe in our power, do pray to keep us strong. And if you don't, brush up on your jokes and all the wonderful things you can say, all the positive good things that you can think of to keep us all strong. And I thank you in advance for that. I know you will do well, and I will pray for you, and I'll think about you, and I will pray for this country and this world. And hopefully the numbers coming out of South Korea and China are a good indicator that things are on the mend. And I do think if we take the right precautions, things will be on the mend. If Democrats get their way, it might go on forever. So, vote Trump. Definitely. Goodbye, everyone. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate it.